Well, it's a very good morning from him, and it's a very good morning from me. I hope you're all well. So, welcome to Paul Archer's live stream, mortgage live stream, mortgage insights, all those good things for you to enjoy today. Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Hope you're enjoying our rainy weather. It's chucking it down out there. We've had more rain in March, April than since records began, but there we are. We understand the weather. Let's go on air, shall we? And greet you to 20 minutes or so of updates on your mortgage business, your financial services business, insights into the mortgage world, mortgage market. We're live on video, of course, on YouTube, but also on podcast as well. We're on podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google Play. So if you want to listen to this rather than watch me, you're very welcome to do so. So what's been happening then in the last couple of days, couple of weeks or so? Well, I was at a conference this weekend. My professional trade body, Professional Speaking Association, had a conference on Friday and Saturday. So I went along there and attended. I did a session on the Saturday afternoon, which was great fun. The session I did actually was quite interesting because I was talking about B2B selling or selling to corporates. And we did a lot of maths, if you like, KPIs, metrics and things. It just got me thinking about Rishi Sunak's kind of political thing at the moment about getting kids to do more maths at school, into A levels and that kind of stuff. And as mortgage advisors, financial advisors, we do a lot of maths. It's what we're about, and it just makes me think about the public who Rishi reckons don't understand maths. Because when I got into KPIs and metrics and things like that with my audience on Saturday, some of them looked a bit glazy-eyed, which was unfortunate. Really, makes you think about maths, doesn't it? Now, of course, when it comes to mathematics or numbers, one of the most important quotes I've ever seen is this one. You'll like this one. Let's just flick over to this one so you can see my very important quote for you. It's from Einstein, apparently. Albert Einstein once said, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." And I thought that was really quite good, that, wasn't it? So she who understands compound interest, she earns it. She who doesn't understand it pays it. That's probably not far off, actually. Compound interest with interest rates starting to go up, of course, on savings accounts, interest rates going up on credit accounts, credit cards, mortgages. When it starts to compound, equity release, for example, interest rates at a slightly higher rate now starts to compound quickly, doesn't it? Before you know it, your mortgage has doubled or your value of your investment has halved in like 6 or 7 years. So start thinking about that. It's probably something to consider. Anyway, let's get into a couple of topics, shall we, with you today. Hope it's all good. Hope your world is going well. Mine is. I'm looking forward to the summertime. We've got a couple of bank holidays coming up, haven't we? Today, I want to talk about artificial intelligence. Who isn't at the moment? Let's get honest about it. Well, at least it's not consumer duty, isn't it? Everyone else is talking about that at the moment. Let's talk about artificial intelligence and mortgage advisors. And then I want to give you an update on the married couples allowance for the new tax year. We're kind of updating things here, so I thought I'd give you a bit of an insight into the married couples allowance, just to keep you up to date, really. That's the whole idea. So the first topic then I want to talk about is artificial intelligence. Now, ChatGPT, which has been in the news like massively, and everyone's reckoning, robots are going to take the world over and we're going to be extinct soon as humans. It's I get it. I get the fact that machine intelligence is getting better and better. Of course it is, and we're not daft. But I want to know who's going to be the winner. Is it artificial intelligence or is it a financial advisor? Title of this one is Financial Advisor 1, AI nil, because of course it's the FA Cup kind of thing, isn't it? It's the football situation coming through. So who's going to be the winner? Well, I don't think artificial intelligence is going to be the winner. I don't think it's going to take over our jobs completely. I think there'll still be a market for humans because artificial intelligence is a robot. It's computerized. It has no humanity built into it at all. And I think in a few years it might, but not yet. Not in our lifetime anyway. It's a computer. It feeds off data, information, bytes. Call it what you like. Humans, of course, are still financial advisors, or financial advisors are still humans, and that will make us win. Now, the winner though will be the mortgage advisor who embraces artificial intelligence tools. We know that, we've heard that. So she who embraces all the tools available to her is going to be the winner over other mortgage advisors and financial advisors who don't. And there's a few of them around. There's a few financial advisors, and I'm not going to deal with all those things. I'm a financial advisor. I must give my human advice. That's great. I get all of that. But if you really want to succeed moving forward, then you do need to embrace artificial intelligence in the form of apps and software. So you might say, well, actually, Paul, I already have brilliant software, which I've paid a fortune for in a monthly license. My network or whoever provides this for me, and I pay a lot of money. Now, okay, that's not actually artificial intelligence. It's software, of course it is, and there's plenty of good software that does everything for you, collates customer details. It allows you to mail out customers. It does your fact finding for you. Some of them do the search engine for you. They search the right lender for you, and they give you advice on that, and they complete a suitability letter for you. Some of them even go into the DWP database and give you details of somebody's welfare benefits. But it's not intelligent. It just scrapes information and brings it in for you. It's very bloated and very expensive too, but it's not intelligent. It doesn't learn. It doesn't self-learn itself. Now, you could probably argue the case, and I get on with that totally. So modern AI, modern artificial intelligence, is a small app that uses cloud computing to do its processing. So just take a quick look at that visually. Just pop across over to this whiteboard here. Now, if you have a mere laptop or a phone, you don't need to have a heavy duty piece of kit to access these apps. A laptop PC will do it. Because what they do, of course, is they feed through the internet to great big server farms. It's just sort of a server farm here. There's lots of whizzy things going on with wires everywhere. These, of course, all over the world. The heavy duty processing is done in the cloud. Now, cloud, of course, is a metaphor for a heavy duty server farm somewhere which has computers and chips and PCs whirring away. It's mechanics, that's what it is. And that's where all the grunt's being done. And you're feeding this via the internet. So as long as you've got a decent internet connection, which everybody has nowadays, you can use artificial intelligence software, which allows then the small broker, the small financial advisor, to gain a competitive advantage over the big boys. Now, that's really important. I think that's going to be a move in the future as well. You don't have to belong to a great big firm with brass plates on the wall and Chesterfield sofas in the front foyer. You can if you want to, with a great big brand name. Of course you can. But if you're a small advisor working locally, as long as you've got access to the AI, then you are cooking on gas, and you will be competitive, and you will have a competitive advantage. So the question then comes into what kind of AI can you use? So I'm just going to give you a dozen or so different artificial intelligence software apps that you can buy now that you can use to gain a competitive advantage. Now, I use for the phrase buy. You have to pay for this stuff. The big problem with AI and chat GPT, these things, is they haven't yet monetized them. They're not free. They're not free. You can't get this stuff free. You may have been used to getting free software most of your life, but not now, because they can't monetize it. Even Google are struggling to be able to monetize their Bard, which I'll share with you in a second. Traditional Google search engines, for example, you Google, don't you, information, and websites come up, and people pay to be there, and they put adverts everywhere. Now, if you're just using a chat GPT and you type in a question, you're just going to get loads of information. There's no websites given to you, so they can't monetize this unless they charge you. So make a budget for this. Give yourself a budget, £100 a month for the next how many years you want to be, £200 a month or dollars to pay for these software. We have a budget, 150 a month, which we pay for various AI software. That's all. They cost $10 a month or whatever they do, but they give you a competitive advantage. So let's take a look at some examples for you, which I want to share with you. Just a couple of examples. Here's half a dozen to start with. We've heard of Google Bard. You may have come across this. It's free at the moment. Now, you'll never need to use an old-fashioned Google search engine anymore if you start using Google Bard. It's very much like ChatGPT, but it's Google's version, and it's pretty good. Google Maps, you're used to this one. I bet you're using this one already. route walking, cycling, motoring. It's very intelligent and very useful, free at the moment as well. 85 summarizes a YouTube video. So if you're wanting to do some CPD, some learning, can't be bothered to watch a great big long video, get 85 to summarize it for you. Brilliant. Feedly, I love this. I use this all the time. This feeds articles and news feeds to me on an app. I don't need to have my email inbox clogged with all sorts of ridiculous emails and things from various people. I can get Feedly to stream it for me of the information that I need to keep up to date. Slides AI is a lovely one. This one writes an outline for a presentation and creates slides for you. Don't rely on what they give you. You do need to adapt it and personalize it, but it does give you a basic of a presentation, which is pretty good. Video shortens long form videos. I like that one. So you've got a great big long video that you've recorded and you want to do a short on YouTube or a reel on Instagram or whatever, or TikTok, whatever you want to use, then you can use video to shorten that video, which is pretty cool. And that'll save you a lot of time. So these are all time saving, as you can see, which is really, really useful. Now, a couple more for you. Calendly, you may well use this or not. This one runs your calendar. Not exactly intelligent, but it's got lots and lots of resources built into it, so clients can book you straight away without you getting involved in running your diary. So you won't need a PA ever again. You saw them. Grammarly, love this one to bits. I write a lot, as you know. This is an in-house editor for me and writing checker. It's very intelligent. It learns your style. It adapts to your audience. It's very intelligent, and it allows me to write quicker and more precisely. I like Grammarly a lot. Rightly rewrites and improves your wordsmith. So if you want to be better at writing, then use this one. Be careful of these ones though, because they will vanillarize your writing. If you're putting articles onto the internet to gain prospecting, traction, that sort of thing, then be careful of these things because they do write in a computerized way. They're not personal. And we'll soon see the internet flooded with articles written by computers, which are actually just blooming awful things to read. They're boring. You've got to be unique and insightful and personalizing your writing. Yippity, I like this one, turns any text into a quiz or test. So if you're having to do a quiz for work, test people on the consumer duty, for example, everybody is, then put the text into Yippity and it'll work out a test for you. Pretty good, pretty quick. Love that one. Good for trainers, by the way. Otter.ai, this is really useful for recording voice and transcribing instantly. This one also learns my voice and can read my book out, and I can produce an audible book in seconds by using Otter AI. It's very good at me talking to the computer, and it automatically translates it or transcribes it. It's very, very useful, Otter AI. You can attach that to your Zoom meetings, Teams meetings, and have everything transcribed quickly and instantly as well. Spotify, bet you use that one. That's AI. That runs your music entertainment for you, suggests new tunes based upon algorithms and things. And Windsor sends a video to hundreds of clients simultaneously. If you want to keep in touch with your clients, get into Windsor as well. And last one for you, called Chat GPT, of course, made AI mainstream and famous, if that's the right word to use. Now, Chat GPT is great, of course it is, but you have to pay for it if you want to get ahead of the queue. It's not free, because they haven't monetized it yet. And it's so expensive to churn these things out. Artificial intelligence uses a lot of software, a lot of hardware power, and it's very, very expensive. It's not good for the environment either. If you wanted to Google that one. So there we have. I make that financial advisor 1, artificial intelligence 0. But she who embraces AI is going to be the winner. And I think Manchester United will win the FA Cup, by the way, on the 3rd of June. So that's my team, as you very well know. Okay, enough of that. Let's go on to our next topic, shall we? Should we get a bit more serious this time? Let's get into some taxation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop over to the big whiteboard for this one. So let's just head on over there now for you. Okay, so let's pick up over here on the big whiteboard, because what I want to do now is to summarize for you the married couples allowance, because it's one of the only allowances that have changed for this tax year. As you know, the Chancellor is using fiscal drag to drag everybody into high rate taxes and all those good things, but he's kept this one alive. Why has he increased the value? Well, I think not a lot of people get it. The whole point behind this one, and I'll put the numbers up here for you, is that you have to be born before 1935 to get it. It's for married couples. Don't get confused with the marriage allowance, which is very different. This one's for married couples or civil partners, or whatever you want to look at there, born before 1935. So even my old man doesn't get this. My dad, he doesn't even get this one. And he's, what is he now, 85 or so? So you've got to be fairly old to get this one. And that age hasn't changed. So I think what's going to happen is that people who qualify this are all just going to die, aren't they? Which is why they're keeping it going. So what is it? Well, it's an extra allowance that's given to these people. And it's currently, if you wanted to take a look at the figure there for you, and I'll give you the numbers for you, it's £10,375 is the allowance. So it's not far off the personal allowance, but it's not like a personal allowance which removes completely tax on any income up to that figure. This is just a straightforward 10% saving. So in other words, you're saving 10% on that, which happens to be, if you worked out the numbers, £1,038. Okay, that's all it is really. But of course, if you're of that age and you need money, you're retired, you're not working, are you? Then that's, £800-900. That's a lot of money. That's 80-90 quid a month. So it saves you a lot of tax, and that's a good thing to have. Now, the big problem with the married couples allowance is it's not given to every married couple over the age of born before 1935. It has this limit, and when you hit this limit, it starts to remove it, and that's what you've got to be careful of. Particularly, for example, if you're dealing with some later life lending clients, some equity release. Equity release for somebody in their late 80s is not uncommon. These are kind of people you might be talking to. And if your equity release gives them extra income, which might be what they want, there's now wrong with that, then you might find that your money that you've given them will reduce the amount of married couples allowance they're getting. Of course, that is a no-no, and you really don't want to go there. So they look at numbers. Now, let me share with you some numbers. So I'm going to go to the slides for this so you can see some numbers, because what you need to be aware of course, as a financial advisor, is you don't need to remember stuff. You have tax sheets, and in exams you have tax sheets. Now, this is for tax year 23-24, which I'm doing for you. The LIBF and the CI haven't introduced their tax sheets yet, so I've got mine from Aviva, who are a great company, aren't they? So let me just zoom into the numbers that we need to be thinking about here. And as you can see, I've zoomed into the numbers for the married allowance there. Look, can you see this is for 23-24? So there's £10,375, which is like, and as you can see there, you've got a married minimum, so it can never go below £4,000 at 10%. Now you'll lose the 10,375 allowance if your income goes above 31,400. And then you lose it, it reduces by £1 for every £2 of income over that. So we need to look at some examples just to sort of bring that to life. So you don't need to remember these figures. That's the whole point. They're in the tax sheet for you. But because we know that because we've done these things many times before. So what we're saying then is that this income limit, which is 31,400. So let's just put the number up there for you. Let's get a different color pen. The income limit, which is the key one, is 31,400. There you go. As I said to you, for every £2 of income above that, you lose £1. So it's a 50% reduction. So similar to personal allowance reductions as well. But it will only ever go down to that 4,000 figure. So if you had like an income of like £100,000, you do get a minimum off your tax bill of £401 a year. But don't worry too much about that. So let's just look at an example, shall we, for equity release purposes, so you can get to grips with this one. Now, this example for you involves Ethel. Okay, let's put Ethel into the system, shall we? There's Ethel. She's a lovely lady. There we go. Let's give her a great big bunch of hair. She's been down. She's got a blue rinse. There you go. She's been down the hairdresser. I'm only pulling a leg. Now, Ethel is age 90. And you're looking to do some equity release for Ethel, and she's part of a married couple, and she's entitled to the married couple's allowance. Now, her income happens to be £29,000. Now, that's the money she gets from pensions, from interest or whatever. It doesn't really matter where she gets it, rent. It could be anywhere. So she's got the full married couples allowance. So she's entitled. Let's put the thing for you. Married couples allowance here. She's entitled to the full whack. Here we are, £1,038. Now that's the saving of tax that she gets. So that comes off her tax bill because pensions are all taxed. So she's jolly happy with that. Now the problem is though that your equity release has increased her income because that's what you wanted to do. So suddenly she's got a higher income, another 10 grand in income. So her income has now gone up to 39,000. That's her income from all sources now. Now the problem with that is it's breached the limit. It's gone above the limit now. So we've exceeded the limit. And if you did your maths, you've exceeded the limit by 7,000. Just quickly work that one out. £7,600. So that's what it's breached it by. Remember the 2 for £1 rule? So she loses £1 for every £2 of her income. So basically half that. So £3,800 is what she's going to lose. So what you then have to do is to work out the numbers. So if we just get a different color pen here. So let's get 10,375 is the normal married couples allowance that people get, but she's now going to have it reduced by the 3,800. So let's take that away from that. So less 3,800. We just about squeeze that in. I think just about see that one, just about. And I'll put it over here for you so you can see that on the video. That then equals £6,575. That's the allowance that she's going to get now. That's at 10%, of course, at 10%. So she still gets an allowance of £658. There you go. Per annum. Just about squeeze that in, can't you? So what's that? £60 a month or whatever. So she's lost 380 quid, if you did your maths here, by having her income increased. That's not a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but it all adds up, and she might be a bit peeved off about that because you've given her an extra 10 grand of income, so you thought you've done a great job, but you've actually lost her money as a result of doing that. So just be a little bit careful of the numbers. Now, the great news is that you can get artificial intelligence to do all this for you. One of people I know, Advisewise, brilliant company. They've got some software that does everything for later life advisors. And one thing it does, it goes in and gets welfare benefit information. So it will actually work this out for you according to the person's income. It's a really quite intelligent piece of software. So it will tell you if you're breaching this limit according to somebody's age, that sort of thing. So you have to remember this sort of stuff. Get a decent bit of AI just to remind you. And then, of course, you can then explain it to Ethel. Your job, of course, as a human, is to explain things to Ethel. She's an intelligent lady. She doesn't have to be vulnerable. Just because she's 90, she's not necessarily vulnerable. She might be very, very, very switched on. So you can explain things to her by building that rapport, having that bedside manner, and making sure she understands what's going on with the married couples allowance. And that's the married couples allowance. I hope that's been a good update for you. Bye. Well done, everybody. Good. Okay. Well, that's fair enough, isn't it? That's a bit of an update for you then on married couples allowance there for you for 23-24, and we did some work on artificial intelligence as well. So I hope you found that all very useful indeed. Going to wrap up the live stream today, wrap up the insights to hope that you enjoy the week. Got a good week coming up, haven't we? St. George's Day was yesterday. Did anybody celebrate it? I don't think English people celebrate St. George's Day. Funny old game that really, isn't it? But there we are. So we've got a good week coming up. We're pretty busy on all fronts, doing some equity release training this week and doing some videos on Wednesday for some clients as well. And taking out Friday for a little bit of a journey down to Hampton Court. Shelley and my daughter going to Hampton Court to see the sights, which should be good fun for them all. And I'm looking forward to them enjoying that as well. Other than that, I hope you have a great week. Enjoy what's going on in your world. And don't forget artificial intelligence. Have a look at a couple of those apps then. Give yourself a budget and maybe sign up for a couple of them. See if it helps you to do your business better and quicker. and keep being embraced of the new AI models. But be aware, of course, that some will come, some will go, that some will fail because there's a lot of competition at the moment, a lot of money going into AI. But I think it's very exciting, don't you? Anyway, enough of that. Let's go offline, and we'll see you all again very soon. So it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from this chap here. Bye for now, and we'll see you all again next week. Good luck to you all. Bye.